We are happy to announce that this episode of the SWW Show is partially brought to you by Humble Bundle. Well, not really. We are part of the Humble Bundle referral program, and we just wanted to say that if you like really cheap games and maybe helping charity pending the Humble thing going on, all you have to do is go to humblebundle.com/partner equals SWW. That's right, humblebundle.com/partner equals SWW. And you just do your normal stuff, and it just kind of helps us get a couple bucks here and there. Maybe it helps AJ get his lights, maybe it's Mike camera, maybe we actually pay Corey for helping us out. But again, if you're going to go buy games anyway, it might be worth checking out.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode number 64 of the SWW Show. It's me, AJ. Got Mike. We're doing this live.
Hello.
On the Twitch channel. Luckily, I muted the output for the Moving Out soundtrack, so you don't hear that in the podcast feed. But, yeah.
Yeah, we're here to talk about a lot of stuff, but let's just get started. Let's start with the thing that I don't know. We're going to talk about some stuff we've kind of played, we've seen, we've done.
Yeah, typical.
What does IW mean?
Infinite wealth. Rather than type out like a dragon, infinite wealth.
No. I should have probably realized that. I just looked at it, I go, in my head, I went, Infinite Warfare?
No.
So I went, there's no way.
Nope.
Anything new on Infinite Wealth? You just kind of getting through it, or?
I am 12 and a half hours in, and I just unlocked the ability to change jobs. Which, for those that played Yakuza 7, realize with the new combat system, jobs are pretty damn important. It's your base resistance and damage and health and everything is based on your job. And for me to be 12 hours in, or more than 12 hours in, and just unlocking that. Now, granted, you could probably get there a little quicker because I was doing some side stuff. But it's like, there's points where it's like, hey, you should probably level up. And it's like, I'm kind of maxing out my level.
Have you gotten to the Pokemon part yet? I don't know.
Yeah, that's right at the beginning.
Okay, I know that was one of the things that they unlocked versus.
That's pretty much right at the beginning. And so now my job is a Pokemon trainer, more or less.
That's amazing.
So I can, my abilities are to summon my, for lack of a better term, Pokemon, in to do elemental damage and stuff like that.
So am I correct in understanding the Pokemon game is people you're collecting?
Yeah.
Did I hear this? I feel like I understand these games, but I've not looked too into this one. But that's what I remember hearing someone say was that it was people.
I mean, you have to remember, right? The whole thing about Like a Dragon from 7 on is Kazuga sees the world as a Dragon Quest-esque game, which is why it's turn-based fighting and a lot of that stuff. So if you think of it as he sees the world, he's tripping balls so much that he sees the world as video games. It kind of makes some of the, open world interactions with random encounters fun because you can end up recruiting. There's a whole mini game around recruiting guys and stuff like that. But of course, it's a Yakuza side game, so the characters from the other games are in there, and they're always the best. So you end up playing with Kiryu and some of the characters from 7, and Adachi, I believe, is in it. Nanba is in it. All these characters from 7 are Pokemon as well. So it kind of makes that side, like leveling up your own random ones, kind of pointless. Unless you're just in it for the collecting aspect of it. But yeah. I haven't unlocked the Animal Crossing minigame yet. I don't know when that's going to unlock, honestly. Like, if I'm 12 hours in and just unlocking jobs, I'm worried that it's going to be like 60 hours in and I'm just unlocking the island.
Oh, 100%. It's going to be something absurd.
Yeah.
I'm where would this kind of rank kind of in your grand scheme of these? Would you say kind of this is, because obviously this is a very different one too with kind of location and stuff.
I'm way too early to make a formal ranking. And part of the problem too is like I played 1 through 5 before the Kiwami and other remasters. So some of that stuff has changed. But as of right now, I'd say 8 is in line with 7.
Which I remember you liking 7 a good chunk.
Yeah, 7's fun.
Yeah, so I remember that one being one that...
Other than the skill cliff that they throw you in at like 55 hours, which is really annoying. Yeah, 7's fun. It's because it changed from the Batman-esque combat to the turn-based stuff. So your strategy changed a lot. But really, other than that, I mean, 6 is still probably my favorite. Only because it had baseball.
I said, was 6 the first one that got big in America? Or was that 5? Like we know what I'm talking about. There was a point where like these things just became like the big game. Like
0 came out before 6.
Okay.
And 0 was like the first one that I remember really being talked about. And that's partially because people that had played this series, like myself,
0, that can't be right. 0 was all the way back in 2015.
Dude, 0 is old as hell. Yeah.
No, but because I remember that I think you're right. 0 might be the one looking at this kind of timeline wise. I think you're probably right.
Yeah. Well, everybody was like, everybody that had played 0 was, or had played through, I guess, 5 at that point. We're like, hey, 0 would be perfect for everyone because it's going to be new to everyone. You know, it's not like 0 was already out in Japan and they're bringing it out in the West. No, it's full on brand new story for everyone.
So reading it while we're talking, it looks like 0 is the one that like it didn't sell super well, but it's the one that like broke the like everyone talking about it looking at its sales, because the ones after that start selling comically more. Is what it looks like.
6 did very well. I remember.
Yeah, and 0, it's talking about how like in its first week it sold like 200,000 copies, but like it was a new record for the series at the same time.
Yeah.
And then once you get to 6, it's like, oh, it just sells. Yeah, in just Japan, it sold 200,000 copies the first week, but that was globally, it sold 200,000 copies.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a level where you just see that jump of them. It's wild. But yeah. No, that's great. I'll just jump in with the easy one, which is I was playing Civ 6 some more on Steam Deck. I think the last time I got to talk about, great as can be. I'm going to start tonight, actually, so next time we'll have a new strategy game I'm going to talk about. I'm going to try this new game called Against the Storm, which is apparently like Civ, but with like some roguelike elements mixed in. So let's like that one next time. I'll be kind of intrigued by that. For you, it looks like you finished the God of War.
Yeah, 40 hours later.
Did you do that DLC thing or no?
I have not hopped into Valhalla because I was like, I need to take a break from this, and then conveniently, I started playing Infinite Wealth.
Conveniently.
And now Infinite Wealth will probably be all I'm playing for the next month and a half.
Fair. That's fair. Ragnarok, how does it sit with you kind of as a full package now that you've gone through it?
I will say the finale to that game had so many moments of me just like watching the cutscenes and going just like fuck yes, like some of the story beats and the fights and character developments right at the end where it like I don't know, we're far enough along, right? Like if you haven't played Ragnarok, what are you doing? You played it, right? You finished it?
Yeah.
Sindri, like, snapping and going insane. And just going on this torment of, like, oh yeah, don't worry, I'll go get the dwarves. And then he's the only one that comes out and he's like, fuck this, we're going after him.
I think so. I generally think that I think it wraps the package really nicely, and also like it's a good twist of like we know what like now because of stuff like Marvel movies. Actually, we broadly know what Ragnarok conceptually means and how it's supposed to end, and I think they kind of find a way to like take that and like still play with it really well too.
Well, here's what everyone forgets, right? Like, Marvel is no sweetheart either.
Mm.
Ragnarok is not like an event, it's a being. And it's the
Right.
one thing that the game actually covers very well is like Ragnarok is not you're not like you're not bringing heaven to earth, right? In the way that like Revelations talks about.
Mm.
It's you're summoning a world destroyer, and he will destroy every world.
Right. The whole point of Ragnarok is that it's the end of the world. Like
I mean,
Ragnarok's
it's the
apocalypse.
ultimate
It's
defense, right?
It's,
Like,
it's the Norse apocalypse in a lot of ways, but it's a weapon that you could use.
yeah, it's best way to describe it is Ragnarok is a nuke, right? Like,
A nuke that you can't control.
well, you can
So you-
launch it, but you don't know what's going to happen, basically.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. You could send it a direction, but you just hope to God it doesn't turn around.
Yeah, well, it will turn around. That's the thing, right? Like,
Right.
it's the thing that the game doesn't cover, and it's the thing that Marvel never covered because Marvel barely understands Norse mythology to begin with. Ragnarok will come after the world that the person that summoned him is from. Right.
Right. That's the part that.
It's not this thing where you can go like, oh yeah, like Ragnarok will only take down Asgard. No. He'll take down wherever he's summoned, which in most cases is Asgard.
Mhm.
And then he'll move on to Midgard, to Svartalheim, to Helheim. Like, he will destroy hell. He'll
The
destroy
nine
like,
realms. It's nine.
yeah, it's 9 realms.
It's 9 or 7. Yeah. Okay. 9.
He'll destroy Elfheim. Like, take your pick. There's no surviving it. So yes, in a way, it
Also,
is
as
the
you-
apocalypse, but it's like it's an apocalypse where there literally is no afterlife.
Mm.
Like, there's some translations where he even goes after Valhalla and just eliminates everyone, right? Like, anyone that died heroically gets killed too, like, and they don't stand a chance.
Oh. Also, what was I gonna say? we recommend always it's more the original one's based off of this one, but it's that Neil Gaiman Norse mythology book is a great intro to Norse mythology that I think that makes it very digestible too. And it even discusses like at least a version of Ragnarok in that one.
Yeah, and I mean, even if you just want to play through these games, it does a very good job of handling like the introduction of Thor's sons, the introduction of Balder, the introduction of Mimir.
It does a really good job of kind of you have an idea of who these people are and at least why they matter. Like obviously it plays with them in some capacity, but I at least think it respects the idea of the character, even if it changes what the character is.
Yeah, I mean, the twist of having Odin be Tyr was really cool. Solely because it was inevitable that Kratos was going to have to face off against Tyr.
Of course.
Because Tyr is the god of war, right? Like, it's not Thor. People think it's Thor. It's not. Thor is the god of thunder. The god of war is Tyr. He's a giant. He's from Jotunheim. And Kratos would have had to face off against Tyr. And then for the twist to be, oh, Tyr was Odin the whole time was a great twist. And also him killing Brock. And that whole line of like, you know, Brock doesn't have a soul, so that's why when they were forming the spear, like the goddess couldn't talk to him or couldn't hear him because he doesn't have a soul. It was pretty cool. Because I was wondering where they were going with that. Because the dwarves are, I mean, they're covered in Norse mythology, but I didn't spend a ton of time reading about them. But yeah, to have Sindri be like, no, I don't want you going there, because he knows what's going to happen. And then for Sindri to tell, now I want to just call him Loki, but Atreus, to tell him, like, this is why Sindri doesn't want Brock going, was pretty cool. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, recommend. I would say it's better than the first one, only because I like the way that, first off, it's on PlayStation 5, load times traveling between realms when you're not doing story stuff is very quick. When they have to do the, story dump.
It's because they're not. I was like, assume, yeah, because they probably don't have to load cutscenes and all that.
Yeah.
Like, what? Like, there's other stuff they have to like load immediately, pending when stuff's gonna activate.
Yeah.
So.
There is still some
awesome.
load time, but it's seconds versus. I mean, even in the first one, like when you were traveling between realms, just knocking side stuff off, it took just about the same amount of time as the context dumps.
Mm-hmm.
So, whereas now it's very quick. It's not instant, but it's very quick.
Nice. And then the final game here to talk about is the game that I think, safely to say, somewhat broke the internet for a hot minute, and still is like doing real good numbers, is Helldivers 2. Helldivers 2 it's just so good. It's, so people don't know, it's one of those where it's up to four people in a squad drop down onto like a planet to do some sort of relatively simple mission, and you have like the small kind of like small to middle size like map and level to kind of wander and do some side objectives, and your goal is to basically evacuate out. What makes it really fun is it's a combination of really hard, but also like everything's like really not squishy, also including you. and anything can kill you. So like your mine, jump on a mine, or your teammates jump on a mine, they'll die. If you get in the way of like you and your turret, and the turret detects an enemy, they'll plow right through you. So it becomes this like very chaotic, intense game, and it also is one of the ones that's like it just feels really good, and it's super nice because there's monetization, like there's a battle pass in this game. You can it's the first one of those that like you can truly ignore it your time in a long time. And the best toppers that's tomorrow is this is a $40 game. Like this is like a $40 triple A game, which obviously we do not get anymore. And usually you get like a game like this, you'd expect it to be a lot worse of like quality or higher microtransactions. And honestly, unless you really want to play those systems, you wouldn't notice at all. This did you play the first one, or have you kind of dig into whatever's too?
Yeah, I played the first one, not a ton, but enough to understand. Like, okay, it's a play mark, twin stick shooter. What was their other one?
Oh god, they did have another game that was like
Yeah,
big. But yeah, but what's fun about that is that one is a twin stick shooter. Um, this one is a first person shooter, and I'm still very intrigued by that internal decision. Gauntlet's probably what you're thinking. Magicka's the big one.
hold on.
That's their first game.
The one I'm thinking of was
Because they have Gauntlet, they have I don't know Showdown
Alienation.
Effect. They have both. You're thinking of House. Okay, I know what you're thinking of. Yeah. Yeah, and they came out around the same time too, if I remember right.
Oh,
they
that's
went
right.
that far apart.
It's not Housemarque who makes
Yeah.
Helldivers.
Yeah. No, Helldivers is Arrowhead. I could totally see though where, especially the first one, that you'd get that impression.
Yeah, I mean Alienation and Helldivers, the first one I think came out within months of each other, if not.
Because that was like the
time.
tail end of Housemarque trying to be the arcade studio.
Yeah.
It was like right at the edge of that. But yeah, Helldivers 2, 100% recommend. It's a great go play with your friends, because I promise you all of your friends are playing this game based on the numbers.
If they can get it.
Game. Honestly, now since you get in, also they've upped servers to 700,000 concurrents, which like, do we think like games like Dota anymore really get that kind of number? Like that's just such an insane level of concurrence that like they've upped their servers for.
Well, let's see. Hold on. How do you store?
Are you doing the Steam place or whatever that is?
I was just gonna go to Steam and sort by players.
Current. I got Steam charts. Current concurrent. I'm sorry. Counter-Strike 2 has 887,000 concurrent players. The next highest is Dota 2 with 307, and then Helldivers 2 is at 271 concurrents on Steam.
I was gonna say, like, people like to, go, oh, it's, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They just forget how uber popular Counter-Strike is.
Oh yeah, no, that is insane. But put perspective, like this game, at least last weekend, beat what at least currently Counter-Strike's doing. I also don't know what Counter-Strike was doing then, but it's still a level of also Counter-Strike. It's just so I'm looking on Steam charts. It is comically flat, the amount of like their usage. Like it's just kind of like it's feel like the same amount of absurd amount of people log in every day. Like PUBG, it looks the same way.
Yeah.
Where Power World, you can see the inverse effect. Power World, I'm very intrigued. It felt like everyone talked about it, and then no one did.
Yeah, I think everyone just figured out its shtick and was like, okay, we're good.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna be very curious, kind of the tail on that game. Just being realistic.
Here's what's crazy, dude. So I believe May of 23 was when CSGO became Counter-Strike 2. Officially.
No. October. No, I'm just not CS. October's when the relaunch was, wasn't it?
Mm, may have been like may have been the beta Counter Strike 2. Like, hey, we're switching
Got
over.
it. You were correct. So, March 22nd when they announced it, but it didn't come out until like later in the year.
The only reason I know that is because May of 23 they saw 200,000 more players in CS:GO, and it was only a 20% increase.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's a fucking juggernaut, dude. Literally, everyone's like, "Oh, Valve could retire on Dota." No, they can't. Valve can.
It could be Valve.
Valve could buy countries with Counter Strike.
But I think they could still retire on Dota. Like, it's still impressive as hell, the numbers in Dota.
Yeah.
It's just not what Dota was. That's the difference.
October of 21, they gained a whole 85 players. God, I'd love looking at these numbers. They're hilarious.
Also, question to that one actually is, how do you think they're counting this? Does this, because CS2 is CSGO right on the back end? Because yeah, it's the same game, right? Like
Yeah.
they just switched out the package, I thought.
Yeah, they just basically relabeled it.
Like that's the same, so that's why the numbers also kind of go that far back too. Because I was about to be like, how does that make sense?
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the games we played. Go check out Helldivers 2. Go check out Ragnarok. Honestly, go check out other games to talk about tonight. Jumping to you. We'll get to the second thing, well, the first thing you've seen in a minute. I've got to ask about the second thing first.
Mm-hmm.
Being the last flag flying.
Yeah. What about it?
What is that?
That has got Bryan Cranston, Steve Carell, and I was gonna say Morbius, Morpheus, Lawrence Fishburne, and they are 3 retired Marines. And Steve Carell's son gets killed in Iraq. It's set in like 2005, maybe.
Wait, is this the... Oh, it's Richard Linklater. I have heard of this. Yeah, I forgot he was working on this.
It's okay. It came out in 2017. Yeah, it's fine. I guess like there's some comedy, there's some
Yeah, because Steve Carell kind of jumps in and out of comedy now, Phil. He does like some seriously stuff too.
well, the comedy
like
honestly
this
comes
guy.
from in this comes a lot from Bryan Cranston's character. So,
Bryan Cranston, I think, is good at being like that kind of, like, not comedy in like the I expect to be a stand-up, but comedy.
yeah. So, yeah. It's all right. It's got 4.5 stars on Prime. So, I mean, it's 77% 5-star, 12% 4-star. Like, this is a movie that, much like the rating systems for anything anymore, you look at the 4, 3, and 2-star reviews because that's where people actually care.
Mm-hmm.
The 5 and the 1s, people are just like, I either liked it or I didn't. So to see 4-star be 3 times as much as 3-star percentage wise should kind of tell you like it's fine. It's very passable. So
Also, what's wild is apparently it was a interesting about how apparently it's a sequel. It's from a book, which is a sequel, but the sequel came out 30 years later. Wild. Okay, nice.
Yeah.
The other one you have on your list is the Gland Tour.
The Grand
would you like to
Tour's
start that?
penultimate special sand job.
So I bet you the clip I saw was probably a press tour for that. So what it was is, what's the... God, I have to pull up the Grand Tour cast to tell you which one it was. I know I can tell you which one it was, but I look at space.
The one that looks
what
the
I
youngest,
saw-
the one that's got a really tall face, or like wild hair.
No, the old British guy. I'm pretty sure it's Jeremy Clarkson.
They're all old British dudes.
Sure, it's Jeremy Clarkson. Jeremy Clarkson was on, I think it was a podcast or some sort of radio show, and the question was, what is your? Are you happy that basically that what was the show they were on before? Why am I drawing a blank on the name? Yeah, basically that the Top Gear basically collapsed and no one cares since you left, and he was basically like smirking and laughing the whole time.
Oh,
the clip I
was
saw.
that the clip from the Jonathan Ross show?
Oh, it could have been.
That clip is like 7 years old.
Oh, that's funny because I just saw the clip and I was like, I wonder if they were connected to this.
No. If it's the clip I'm thinking of, it's like the clip's 7 years old or something like that. So
how is the
sand job is
penultimate?
like, it's a return to, I don't know if it's through the editing process or what, but it really does feel like prime Top Gear specials. Like, it doesn't feel too over forced. It doesn't feel like Euro Crash, which was their last one. They made a lot of comedy out of it. But the forced bits still felt way too forced. In Sand Job, there's a lot fewer forced bits. Or at least they feel less forced, I should say. So, definitely enjoyed it. It's 2 hours long, which is great too, because it's like, it takes place in Mauritania, which they kind of cover at the beginning. Very few people remember that's a country.
I was about to, I literally, you understand, I'm going, Mauritania?
It's Western Sahara. Like, it's...
Oh, this is it's literally like just east of Western Sahara. Okay.
It's literally, yeah.
Senegal would be like the one people know right by it. It's not far from Guinea and Morocco. Okay.
They drive down to Dakar. That's their goal.
Also, like, Africa as a continent is probably the country I'm least familiar with of like where to place countries. Is my guess. Africa and somewhat South America, but Africa.
Do you want to try that sentence again? Africa is the country that I struggle the most figuring where countries.
Africa is the continent that I struggle the most, like where our countries are.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Like, there's some things I could draw. Like, I can tell you South Africa is south, but like that kind of. But I couldn't really tell you if you asked me. Like, fill it out.
I could probably do everything that borders the Med.
Okay.
And then the Horn of Africa. And then, South Africa. That's about it.
Also, it's really interesting looking, again, I pulled up the Google Maps, but it's like the world view. How Turkey is the only country that's not in English, even if they recognize it as something else. Like, in their native.
That's because they changed that fairly recently.
Right. It was just so interesting kind of seeing it.
It's still pronounced some of the other countries, Turkey.
I can see.
Yeah.
But, like, I'm very curious of, like, what country would you think spell it the new spelling? If you don't live there.
I mean, everyone just calls it Turkey. Like,
right.
When's the last time somebody correctly identified the former state of Czechoslovakia? Right. Now I believe it's Czechia. Most people just call it the Czech Republic.
That whole region, I don't think anyone knows what if you blindly ask people anywhere around there what any of those countries are right now, no one would be able to tell you.
I mean, I think that's the only one that really changed its name recently.
Sure, but I meant like that whole block of countries. Like, there's a lot of that stuff, like
Yeah.
because borders change so much there, and like in our lifetime, there's all that stuff where it's like, okay, it's a little harder to know
Yeah.
unless you're paying attention. Fair. Jumping stuff I've seen. I feel like the first on list is something that seemed up your alley entirely. We watched The Fighter the other night, which I've never seen, by David O. Russell, the Christian Bale, Mark Wahlberg boxing film.
Yeah, the boxing movie.
Yeah,
it's
it
good.
was good. It was very good.
I prefer
Million Dollar
Warrior
Baby.
over Fighter. Warrior is the Tom Hardy one,
Mm,
um,
I,
where it's the two
I'm assuming
brothers, and it's like an MMA tournament.
okay.
I like that one better than the Fighter. I wouldn't say the Fighter's a bad movie. Like, the Fighter's a very good movie.
Yeah, The Fighter.
I just prefer
I can
Warrior
totally see
more.
there. The Fighter, it definitely, I feel like, logs it. Like, maybe the family stuff gets, like, there are moments that it slows it down too much. But, like, as
Yeah.
a whole, like, I think it's a very good journey. But, like, or, like, The Fighter just kind of ends, too, is probably my other complaint. It just kind of goes, and we're done.
Yeah, Warrior's not much better, honestly.
But that's the problem I feel like with like boxing films. We were talking the other day of like they're really good at like showing a story, right? Because you have like few person, the journey, you could really tight it in. But like yeah, like but like most box films kind of just end right after the fight because it's like, oh, this was the conclusion. How much do we like either do the old Rocky thing of cut in the credits there, or you just put a like modern films put a little bow and everything and call it a day.
Yeah.
The other thing that I wanted to talk about, or there's two, but we'll talk about one of them more than the other, is I sat down for the first time in a while and saw Donnie Darko again. That movie honestly holds up better than I thought it would. I think like there are problems with it, and it's definitely a very like weird mentally like kind of what's going on film. But
No,
I
you can,
I
you can
think I was
call it like
surprised.
it is. That movie is wholly like for the kids that think they're cool because they've seen Donnie Darko and they think, "Oh man, this movie is so like, the message in it, man, you just don't get it, right?" Like it's like no, like it's pretty obvious. You're not that original. Literally every kid since the movie came out that watched it has the same reaction. It's not like you're discovering some hidden
Hidden gem, but I do think though there is something kind of like it's still like a decently like interesting film.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
is
I'll give
also
you that.
weird
Like,
as hell. It's still weird. Like
yeah, it's
it's a
weird,
journey that I
but-
think is worth going on once, but it's definitely a film that I think should be the cult it is. Probably is the way I'd view
yeah,
it.
the cult is way too big around that movie.
Yeah, that's probably the problem with it. I think the film without the cult is a fine film.
Yeah, yeah. If this was just
But-
like a, it just stayed an artsy movie from, the what was it, like mid to late 90s.
If this stayed truly a cult film and not a cult film that turned into like not so this because Donnie Darko to me is like when people try to say Quentin Tarantino's like a cult director. No, he isn't. It's just that's the way like we view him. It's big enough. Like this film's big enough where it's not really a cult film anymore.
Yeah, I mean, part of the problem too is like, for want of a better phrase, like when something becomes a cult classic, it ruins whatever it is.
Or
Right,
it
like,
can. I wonder if I think
there's
probably
very,
things that are
very
fine.
few things that survive the cult classic affliction. Because inevitably what happens is you get something like Rocky Horror, right?
Mhm.
Where the cult status around it surpassed that of the movie. Like the movie sucks. movie is not a good movie.
I was gonna say The Room is the other infamous example of what you're about to say.
Yeah.
The Room and Rocky Horror, I think, very much sit in the same type of
Yeah.
like cult film. But the thing with those is, I think it's wrapped around far enough where at least like if you go to those experiences, it's because like this is like a type of like Donnie Darko's type of cult film where it's like you're all talking in a dark alley because it's a cult film. Like those at least made into like oh, I'm going for an experience, and like that's why you're seeing the film. It's not actually to watch the film.
Yeah, and that's
like
the
they
thing,
made
right?
interactive
Like
trails out of them.
those films are so bad that people, like you say, they go for to make fun of the movie basically. But Donnie Darko has this weird thing of like, I don't know, because people think it's so artsy, like we can't treat it like that because this is real art, man.
This is real.
And I'm like, dude,
Yeah,
art,
I'm not gonna say Donnie Darko's that.
art is so subjective and that, but Donnie Darko is not some super avant-garde movie. People have turned it into thinking it is some avant-garde like masterpiece, but it isn't. Like, I hate to break it to anyone that's a huge fan of Donnie Darko, it's okay at best. That being said, the other movie that you have on the list, I think, should have the status that Donnie Darko has.
So you think so?
And
That,
it's a
we'll
way
talk
better
about
movie.
Seventh Cycle. So we weren't feeling it. That's so interesting because like we were like we kind of and it just wasn't sitting right. I don't know, and it feels like on paper something that like
Have
should
you
be very
seen it
much up my alley.
before?
No, that was the first time.
Okay, it's definitely a movie that you need to see it maybe twice
Okay, and that could be what it is then.
because it
Also,
is
it
so
being a
weird
Martin
at
McDonagh,
first.
because like it's like I know like his big film people talk about is In Bruges, and like
Yeah.
In Bruges, I think it's probably another one you have to see a few times because I've seen that one, and it's like you can't really. That one's like a you need to watch that more than once.
Yeah,
That film.
The problem with Seven Psychopaths is like it's so star-studded that it's slapping you. Like all of a sudden you're like, wait, hold on, Christopher Walken is doing what?
So hear me out. I almost thought it got so star-studded it got distracting,
And that's part of
and
the that's part of the
because
story
like Woody
actually.
Harrelson,
So
when Woody Harrelson kind of shows up, it's like this doesn't fit who I picture Woody Harrelson as as a character,
Which is
even
why-
as an evil
yeah.
character.
yeah, which is why I say you need to see it. Watch it another time in like a couple months and then report back because it's definitely one that like you need that base knowledge, but you don't want to watch it immediately.
I can say you don't want to kind of say because like on paper the story should be and the way it's kind of presented should be right up my alley. Like
It's
the way I like
hilarious.
films. It seems like such a me, and that's why I was kind of surprised of like why am I not feeling this? Like it just
Yeah.
like and that's what because it's like kind of like this weird crime thriller. Like it's this weird it's all this kind of together, and also like Mark McDonagh like he's a very interesting director. I think the projects he works on and stuff too. Like
Yeah.
so
It's
like
also
I'll say Three
hilarious. Like Seven
Billboards.
Psychopaths is way funnier than it has any right to be.
Does she with like the once they get to the dog killing? So, yeah.
Dude,
The dog. When he kidnaps the wrong dog, and she's just like, Jesus Christ. Once you realize what their crime is, though, I think is what it like makes it wild too. They just return dogs for money. Like that is not a crime ring. This should be made profitable. I don't know what kind of neighborhood you have to live in to make that profitable, but yeah. We're gonna jump down to stuff. We want to, so to make this be respectful, because we're about to roast something. We're gonna do the serious of the film discussion first, and then we'll roast the other one. How's that sound?
sure.
So to get us started, it happened today, or at least it was announced today by his publicist, Richard Lewis, who is best known from Curb Your Enthusiasm, as like one of his best friends, has died at the age of 76 from a heart attack. Obviously it was like not like a ton of like in a ton of stuff, but like I think whenever he was there, was a very good actor, and obviously in Curb Your Enthusiasm, like I think at many points was like one of the best characters on that show. So that was kind of, I wanted to shout that one out. I
Yeah,
forget, are you a Curb fan?
not really.
Okay.
Um, Not that I have anything wrong with it,
It's a
but
very
um,
yeah.
it's kind of the evolution of what Seinfeld was, and Seinfeld had its moments where I thought it was funny, but there was a lot of Seinfeld moments where I was just like, this is dumb. Um, and I think part of it too is like I'm much more a fan of stand up just stand up experiences than
Hmm.
shows or even movies. Like I'll have fun with movies, but it's like a lot of shows that it feels like every show now that's a comedy is cringe office style mockumentary. And I'm
Yeah.
like, that is so, first off, cringe comedy is the stupidest thing in the world.
Oh no, I agree on that.
It's
Like
not
there's way
funny
too much of that.
whatsoever.
Hear me out. That's just called whatever's on Comedy Central that was made in the last like 3 years. Or last like 8 years, for
I
being
was gonna
honest.
say I haven't really. The last time I remember really watching Comedy Central was like Workaholics was still on.
I saw it like 2017, 2018 still, because like we would watch like South Park and stuff. But
Yeah.
like so you'd kind of see, and that was like that's like there's that one show I don't understand. Like there's a few shows I just don't get it. Like a good example is like I think we're talking about I don't understand the joy of like Aquafina, for example, and that's a per example of like that's kind of her shtick.
Yeah, I've seen some of her stand-up stuff, and it's okay.
But like when she's like acting, that's what she kind of is like the like that awkwardness kind of is her shtick.
Yeah, I saw her in something fairly recently that
Yeah, there was something that like to correct myself. There was one thing I remember and I was like, oh, she was fine. I remember saying like, oh yeah,
she was playing like a serious character, which is fine, but seeing the title card of Aquafina as AWK, WA, I think it's basically like spelled awkward. And so you're just like, that's right, you have the dumbest name in the world. And so I think part of the problem is like I see that and I've got this like stigma that has been created of this is going to suck because you decided to name yourself some dumb name.
Also, so like it's a dumb name, and I think we're both agree that I'm gonna defend her on one thing right here, just because I pulled up her Wikipedia just to remind me of her filmography. So this is a controversy that is the dumbest thing that I'm defending her on. That people there's a controversy of her being cultural appropriation because apparently she raps too much like African American artists, and she only should defend herself. Okay, people, calm down. Like
Dude,
this might be the dumbest news I've ever read in my life.
Eminem had to defend himself because he was such a good rapper.
Yeah, like this is so dumb. I can't.
Yeah. Dude, just
like
I guarantee you
yeah,
all
it's
of
just
that
so dumb.
all of that controversy was probably written by some fucking NYU or Stanford like poli-sci white chick.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, you sound too much like a black person. That's cultural appropriation. Meanwhile, black people are like, whatever. Like, is the music good? No, whatever. Or if it's good,
that
like,
should be
cool.
the question. Wait, are you good? Are you good at what you do? Like those should be the questions. That should be the old question. But yeah, then the other thing that we're here. Let's be honest, AJ. There were some good websites here. Maybe some are people, maybe good or some websites. But as a whole, I'm about to say the thing. that I've been waiting to say for a long time. Effective. There is no more Vice.
As soon as the
I'm
founders
not,
left, you knew
it was
Vice was
done.
just going to go downhill. Like,
But also, hear me out. What is the last thing legitimately that Vice did that was like Vice? I think is a so Vice, to clarify, is still going to exist as a production house, but like Vice.com and like the websites around Vice are going away. And Vice as a production house, I think, has honestly been very good, even like the documentaries like that. But like Vice as like an online digital product, it's not my biggest problem. Like, it's just insert like generic blop here. Like is Vice that different than Vox was, or that different like the other? It's like, no, they kind of all are the same. They all have the same ideas and people. It's like, did anyone really care about Vice? Like at a certain point.
well, the problem was everybody based their stuff off of Vice. So Vice got lost in the crowd because everybody else became Vice. And it's like, you know, I loved the guerrilla days of Vice where like they're driving around in a car going way too fast down city streets with a hitman and they're interviewing a hitman.
Like stuff like that. That I have no problem. That's not you. I think we both know what I'm talking about when I say the Vice problems I have.
Yeah.
Like I'm referring to like, let's be honest. Like when Waypoint closed, we didn't really bat an eye at it. It's like that problem with the Vice. I think also it's like at a certain point it's like, if I ran into Motherboard, it was half the time more about politics than actually technology news.
Yeah. Well, also I think you had more of an affiliation with the Waypoint crew than I did. Solely because what's the best way to say this and not sound like a complete fucking tool? Austin Walker, when kept in check, is one of the greatest minds in video game journalism.
And I think we've talked about this. I think we both agree. I think him in isolation, or him when he has to defend himself, I think is really good. I think it's him when he is with someone who agrees with him is the problem.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that he built a site that was an echo chamber was not good.
Right. That's what, like, legitimately, if you said there's a show where Austin Walker each week is going to sit down with someone he fundamentally disagrees with about, even it could be like whatever the video topic, whatever it is, like, but it's someone who's not an echo chamber. I legitimately, even if I disagree with him, I think he'll make insanely strong arguments and he'll make entertaining arguments. Like, it'll be like a thing that's worth it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, he was either in a doctorate program or was going to be in a doctorate program.
Yeah.
Like very, very intelligent dude, very good writer, very eloquent speaker. But Waypoint proved the all too common idea that if you echo chamber, it ruins who you are. And you need those external voices to help push back. Or at least help introduce new ideas. And honestly, like, it's eventually what killed Vice, right? Was everything on Vice became echo chambers.
That's my problem with Vice, is that it's not saying you can't have ideas I don't agree with. That's not, but it's like make it make sense. Well, like, don't make it sound like everything else out there is the big problem too.
Yeah, Vice became a lot of like, woe is me, I'm not the problem, everything else is the problem journalism. And it's like the fact that it's the same outlet that used to have like tips from drug dealers in its magazine of like where to score the best coke in New York City. And very much guerrilla journalism, really going after stories that weren't covered in the normal day-to-day around the greater New York area.
Mm-hmm.
And as honestly, like as soon as Vice became more Canadian, right? There is a, I don't know how famous it is. I forget the view count on it now, but Vice News did a piece on the Michigan militia, which is one of, if not the largest civilian militia forces in the United States.
How was the biggest?
It may have been overtaken by this point. That's why I say I'm not 100% sure. At one point in time, it was the biggest. And the dude that they have conducting the segment is some Canadian that's never held a gun before.
Mm-hmm.
And is like anti-gun. And I'm just like, dude, you can't have somebody that is anti-gun go do a story on effectively gun nuts, right?
Right, or if you can't, like, or if you do, like, you almost need like a counter voice. Like, I think it'd be interesting. Like, yeah, because like, or you can, but like, what if you did two stories? What if they did like? I think it'd be really fun is you send both of them, but they do a separate story. Like, you send the pro gun guy and the anti-gun guy and see what the story is.
Really, what they should have done is like, first off, they should have sent somebody from the States that understood gun culture in the United States.
Or the other thing should be is, even if they're anti-gun or pro more gun control, they should at least know guns. Or at least have a broad, because that's about a lot of stuff too. It's like, you send people who have no clue what they're doing.
Yeah. And it's just like, he kind of rips them, and I'm like, dude, you're one to talk. You've never shot a gun before. Like, you've never interacted with a gun before. You've always seen them as like the devil. It's like, dude, if you're going to come at me with, you know, guns are bad, we shouldn't have guns, and then you're going to do a piece on the largest civilian militia organization in the United States.
Right.
You're inherently going to have an anti-gun slant.
Right, that's the problem with this. We knew what they were going to say.
Yeah, so it was just like, dude, whoever the producer was on this that decided to have him, the guy that did the piece, be the one doing it. Like, why? You couldn't find somebody in Chicago to do the piece.
Mm-hmm.
You had to fly this guy from Toronto or Vancouver. I forget where he was from, but you know, somewhere outside of the US that doesn't understand the inherent culture around guns, right? Like, you don't have to be a fan of guns, but when you've been in the States long enough, it's just part of your daily life.
So here's what interesting to me. I agree with you where we are. I don't know if that's true of the entire, like, there are definitely pockets. I feel like that's less true. Because we also live in spots too where, like, even if you don't own one, everyone knows people who own one.
Yeah, but even the big cities are the same way, right? Like, you may not own one, but you know Sketchy Carl down the street that's packing like 4.
Yeah.
Right. You just see a different side of it.
That's fair. No, there's a little more to it. And and like, there's also a level of like, we'll drive in a city, you'll see a gun store. And stuff like that, like little stuff that makes it a little more normal too.
Yeah. And then you have cities like New York City that are trying to basically ban. We got to move on because otherwise I'm going to rant for 4 hours about gun control in this country.
Oh, I can imagine. But yeah, jumping, we got 2 trailers that came out that really mattered. We have Borderlands and Deadpool. Deadpool, it looks like Deadpool. We're going to have a good time.
Yeah.
Borderlands one I want to talk about. Borderlands, you know we talked about earlier how Seven Psychopaths might be distracting because of the casting. At least it doesn't like it causes a form of distraction in it.
Yeah. Oh, this
Borderlands
is
the
1,000%
definition-
like.
This is one of those.
Yeah. This is. I guess nepotism at its finest. Like.
Yeah, I mean, because so there is some casting in this film that I do like. I actually somewhat like Jamie Lee Curtis as Tannis in the trailer. That is about the amount of like the main characters that we saw acting. Besides like Jack Black as Claptrap. Jack Black can be Jack Black, and we're all gonna love it.
Yeah, Jack
The ones
Black
who,
is Jack
like-
Black.
like-
So.
Yeah, like he's just playing himself there. I don't understand why do you have Kate Blanchett and Kevin Hart in this. Well, okay, Kate Blanchett I could at least see a lot more. Why is Kevin Hart Roland? Who played or looked at Borderlands for more than 2 minutes and said Kevin Hart?
Yeah, let's pick a 5'3" dude. Like
Roland is
Roland
supposed
is
to be this like
fucking yoked
a
and
military.
he's massive.
Yeah, he's a military. Like he's supposed to be this military veteran. Like
Yeah.
it makes no sense in the slightest.
I mean, what I don't
So honestly,
understand
like,
is
the jokes.
yeah, what
Go on.
I don't understand is why this movie isn't like this should be a breakout movie or an introduction for some new actors.
Or like again, you could throw in an actor or two we know to like make sense because of sales tickets point of view. But like
Yeah.
that's what it should be. It should be like a sure. Jamie Lee Curtis is Tannis. Stop. Okay, that's the A-lister. Like it should be one of those.
Yeah. Also, having on your poster from the producer of Uncharted, Spider-Man, and Venom, that doesn't look good.
I see that. Yeah. Also, look, are you looking at the poster right now?
Yeah, I've got it pulled up.
Okay. Does it look like they just gave Kevin Hart a Walmart costume and said, go sit down?
Dude, that is a thrift store find and a Nerf gun that props painted in like 5 minutes.
Like, that looks horrible, right?
The fact that it looks so much like a Nerf gun, it's like, dude,
This fight... Is this the worst
yeah.
poster I've ever seen for a movie? Like,
it's one of the worst for sure. Yeah.
or
I
like,
mean-
look at Lilith. Kate Blanchett. Like,
Yeah,
her hair looks like they put it on her.
because they did. That's totally a hairpiece. Like,
It's just so bad. Also, are we ignoring the part of... Are you ready for the other wild part? It's obvious that this photo shoot didn't happen because there's no shadows on anyone.
yeah, I mean, this is clearly something that was pieced together. Like,
Like, I don't understand. I don't know if I ever looked at this poster hard enough. This is literally...
other than, is it supposed to be Tina? Other than Tina on the Psycho,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a real thing. You could see the shadow on it.
yeah,
You could tell that's like actually a thing they probably did. Or at least there's... Yeah, 'cause even like her back kind of has some shadow. But like her next to Roland and Lilith, there's no shadows going on there at all.
yeah.
Like Roland looks like they took him like out of the middle of the day.
Yeah, I mean,
If you
it genuinely
want-
looks like it took
go
them
check out-
5 minutes to put that together.
God,
Also-
I-
Lilith's hair, like, if you watch the trailer, her hair looking like that, that's her hair. So her hairpiece is done like that to look like it's blowing in the wind.
the
Even
only
when she's
good thing about it is the other one that we'd see a bunch of. So Krieg, which is like that big psycho he's on, is the guy who played the villain in Creed 2.
Yeah, Florian.
Orient.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
dude, like the dude playing that psycho.
No, Krieg looks fine. The
is
Krieg actually looks fine.
well, is clearly like somebody that is very much in shape.
Yeah. The things that look fine to me, honestly, are Krieg and Claptrap because obviously. And then honestly, looking at what we've seen, and just 'cause I really like Jamie Lee Curtis, Tannis. I really think has a shot because she's that type of actress. I think that could pull off a very kooky character.
Well, and Jamie Lee Curtis is enough of a nerd that she's probably, if she hasn't
I
played
believe if you said she
through,
played this.
she's at
She
least
knows
played
of,
some
yeah.
of Borderlands.
That's it. Like she's the actress we put in our product list. I go, oh, she actually wants to be here. You don't have to teach her what a video game is.
Yeah.
We're like some of the others. It's like, I think we've been like.
Kate Blanchett, I don't think even knows what a video game is. Ariana Greenblatt, who plays Tiny Tina, probably. She might even be I have no idea how old she is, but she might even be too young for
20, I think?
Borderlands.
Yeah, I think she's like 20.
And Kevin Hart's clearly just always in it for the paycheck, so.
Well, yeah, that I think we knew that. So, but yeah, let's jump into the game stuff. We have officially just have a trailer for EA Sports College, coming out.
No, it's
in summer?
CFB 25.
Yeah, sorry, CFP 25 coming out in summer. Full reveal coming out in like 2-3 months. You can get this.
Yeah,
'Cause I know you're a
this
decent
is
Madden
what's
guy.
crazy. The full reveal is in May.
Yeah,
They're saying
Comes out in
coming
June.
this summer, so that's August at the latest.
and August, like, let's be honest,
Is Madden.
like it's probably like I don't think you want to fight. I feel like they want to do this where it's off season on purpose.
So you're telling me they're going to do a full reveal in May. This game's coming out in July? Like,
Yeah. The only thing is though, I'm curious how much they have to sell people in this game versus tell them it exists.
bro, they don't have to sell anybody anything on this.
They just didn't tell me what exists
College football fans have been waiting for this game for fucking...
since 07.
No, 14. 14
Okay.
was the last one. Like,
Okay.
go look up the price of NCAA football 14. Like, honestly, go do that right now. For a 12-year-old game.
Okay. I got a copy of NCAA Football 14 Xbox 360 on Amazon.com. It's saying visit. Is this from Electronic Arts? What? I'm so
No,
confused.
go on eBay, because then you know it's actually real.
That's fair. No, I was just confused because I was pulling it from the Electronic Arts store. I think Amazon messed up its listing there.
Potentially.
Well, because it was not for sure. EA for sure was not selling it. And that's why I was confused.
Oh, hey, I know when it's coming out.
When's it coming out?
June 7th, 24.
Why June 7th?
The clapper at the end of the trailer says 6/7/24. EA
that's funny.
cross CFB, tell your friends.
I have found one copy that says read description. I have a $40 copy I found, but I can't tell if it's real. The others are
Probably
looking
isn't
like
if it's
90s.
only $40.
I see some in the 60s. I see some in the 70s. Some in the 80s. That seems like the real copies. Some as high as I actually have a disc only for $42. Yeah, that's a decently expensive game.
Yeah, complete
For
in
an old
box
football game.
working for...
I can get you
PS7.
12 for way cheaper.
Yeah. 95 bucks,
Just like you're saying it.
65, 70.
Oh my. Speaking of eBay, did I tell you when they took off Spec Ops The Line, I bought a copy off eBay?
Literally, here's NCAA 14. It's just the disc. It's in like a clear plastic CD case. And it's bidding. So it's not even a buy now. It's got 23 bids. It's at $75. Like, here's people selling cracked versions of. Well, you probably shouldn't buy these because that's very much fully piracy. Yeah. There's some that are like over $200, but it's like, okay, this is a pirated version of NCAA 14 with college football revamped installed. Like, yeah, this is just, yeah, no, don't buy this. Holy shit.
You might see a few. I saw a few of those.
Holy cow. Like,
But yeah.
trusted top seller with over 500 revamped. Okay, it's a console. So it's a cracked console. It's a cracked PS3 with.
Do you know? So it's less that eBay sells those. It's more shocking to me how many Instagram like ads I get for cracked consoles. Do you get Instagram ads for cracked consoles? I get them all the time.
Not a ton. It's a cracked PS3 with 4 pirated games, and I can also add any PS3, PS2, and PS1 games of your choice. And then has a list of most every franchise.
Oh my.
And then at the very bottom, all games have been purchased. No, they haven't. Top critical review. This is July 25th of 23. Awful. Arrived 10 days late when it finally came. It didn't even have a power cord. Then when I went and bought a power cord that was supposed to be included, the game didn't even have updated rosters. Do not buy from this seller.
Didn't have updated rosters, but because that's amazing. But yeah, that's the news. We'll see if his prediction is correct on the June date. The other thing.
I mean, I feel like the fact that is literally the last shot of this teaser is your clapper saying 6/7/24. It's just a little too much, like a little too on the nose.
That's fair. Very fair. The next thing I want to show is just that Sony announced that PlayStation 5 is officially on the back half of its life. I'm assuming that
We'll see.
So people took the news like shocking. To me, that news wasn't shocking, honestly.
I think people took it shocking because the PS4 lasted so long into the PS5's life cycle.
Oh, that's fair. I was gonna say like PS4 to PS5, this would check out for this being the halfway mark.
Yeah,
Because the 7 years we're at the year 4. Like this would be logically like the halfway mark in that regard. That's why I was like, I didn't understand the confusion people had. Because to me, I was like, yeah, I would expect it to be. I don't know.
Oh man.
People weird. The biggest news story of the month, though, by far, is officially there are Xbox games coming to PlayStation. We are starting with the first 4, with some of them being out already. So the 4 games coming to PS4 and PS5 and Nintendo Switch for some. So it depends on the game. So Pentiment goes to PS4, PS5, Nintendo Switch. Came out on the 22nd of February. Hi-Fi Rush will be coming to PS5 on March 19th. Grounded will be coming to PS4, PS5, and Switch on April 16th, and then Sea of Thieves to PS5 on April 30th. So I'm going to say the obvious thing. I'm curious what you think on this one is. I'm assuming that you probably agree with me that this is maybe the first batch of games. These will not be the last batch of games coming to PlayStation and Nintendo consoles.
Correct. Yeah, this is clearly paving the way for Xbox to diversify their portfolio.
You know what's really nice? This means I won't have to play Starfield on PC if I ever want to play it. Because I will bet you this will come out.
Starfield?
I will, yeah, will come out on PlayStation. We might bet.
I mean, Bethesda obviously hopes that Starfield would come out on PlayStation.
Bethesda obviously doesn't want anything to be exclusive based on their internal emails that we saw.
I loved them like, wait, hold on, what?
Yeah, I wish you could do who, but we can't.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's just definitely the big thing. I'll also be curious how all of these sells and if we get sales figures for them. Because most of these games, we don't get sales figures for. Remember, Microsoft just says how many people played the game. They never say how many people bought a game anymore.
It wouldn't surprise me if we see some version of sales numbers.
Because it will be the first time we get sales numbers for these games, then, besides, like, unless they're announced separately in an earnings call.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll be curious to see how they handle that.
Yeah, so I'll be very intrigued, and also I'll be intrigued kind of what's the next set going on. So, beautiful. Next thing on the list of... let's be honest, the only good news... that there's some interesting stuff kind of happening in the industry externally. One of the big ones is Stormgate, which is a developer. Oh, the Stormgate is a developer. Words in my mouth, freaking out. Frost Giant, a developer of Stormgate, which has a game on Kickstarter a few years ago, has announced that they're opening up some equity positions via StartEngine, which is a website you could like invest in non-public companies. I just find this interesting because obviously we're in a very bad publishing environment for people right now. And it's interesting watching developers trying to find a way to get funding, but not deal with what we are seeing, as we'll get to this month already, of some massive layoffs and problems even raising money. Do you have any thoughts that kind of, do you feel this is interesting, a good thing, a bad thing, kind of a developer trying this as an option?
It feels like the final death throes. You know what I mean? Like, this is their last shot. That if this doesn't work out, don't be surprised if you hear that the studio is shuttering. Kind of.
The amount of stories of the last month of developers shuttering, like mostly indies, right? Of like being like, we can't get funding or shuttering, has been a bit terrifying. So I do think this is probably them. They probably have a little bit of maybe a longer run rate than like a month or two. Maybe they have like 6 months, but I do probably agree with you that they're at least running down that run rate real fast.
Yeah.
And we will see. I guess it's time already to jump to all of the layoffs of the month. So we'll get to some big ones in here. We'll kind of single those out in a second. But we'll kind of start with some of the broader ones. So we had some support teams had some layoffs, including Disruptor had layoffs. The team behind DC Universe Online, which I forget still a game. So they had a bunch of layoffs there. Yeah, and then let's jump to then. This is all in the last 7 days, this final set. And these are the ones that obviously I think were the bigger ones. First one being Supermassive, announced they're laying off 90 people. Deck 9 Games announced they are doing massive layoffs. It was like 30% of their staff. And then the big one, which is the wild one, is that PlayStation announced they were laying off approximately like 8 or 9% of their staff and closing London studios and canceled what we found out is they also canceled a game which would be a reboot of Twisted Metal. What was your kind of initial when you saw that Sony one and kind of all that kind of wrapped as one?
The Sony one was maybe the most surprising. Only because how widespread it was.
Yeah, the Sony one, like, so a bunch of studios got hit, including Guerrilla, Naughty Dog, and Insomniac.
Yeah.
So what's interesting is not Media Molecule, not Ben. So like not the studios people thought were in trouble. It's like that's what I find interesting also. because those are stories like we've been assuming were if like those kind of like if you read places of it's like oh people kind of assumed those are the ones we don't know what's going on with them. They're a bit smaller. They're kind of isolated. Where it's like London Studio had maybe the lowest overhead of any PlayStation studios just because how small that team was.
Yeah.
They're the only VR support they had left. And then Insomniac just released the fastest selling game in history. But the other thing I noticed, kind of following my feeds, including like LinkedIn stuff and the connections I have, is those three teams of Naughty Dog and of Gorilla is it seems like community managers and public face people are the ones who actually got laid off more than developers on those. And I'm curious if they're going to do some sort of like consolidating or changing how they're doing communications internally in Sony to kind of save money.
Wait, you're telling me a video game company laid off people that they probably overhired during COVID?
Oh no, I do think a lot of this is do I think because if you look at like PlayStation is a good example, right?
Yeah.
They have a really high revenue number, but their percentage of like they're only like a 6% margin business, 5% margin business. Like they don't actually have a ton of wiggle room. So it's one of these things of like they definitely overhired if you look at those actual what they're getting in the day profit wise.
Nothing drives me up the wall more when people talk about these layoffs than them just generalizing these layoffs.
Like you have to look at who's being like I like to look at like who what's the position like London Studio, good example. Yeah, all of them got hit. Like what you can't isolate that one for example. But like the other I'm not saying other developers didn't get hit because I promise you we could find technical people got hit. But it's interesting to me that it did seem like the ones that I was seeing a lot of it's like it seemed like a lot of those PRE type roles. They're like I wonder if Sony's kind of rolling them into a single team.
Yeah, it was just like people, you have to remember during COVID, these studios were hiring people based on the boom of 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And suddenly they had all this revenue and this budget that they could spend. We're now 3-4 years clear of that. Guess what? We're back to normal. You didn't have these people before 20, so you probably shouldn't have them anymore. Like, it's a very ruthless way to look at it, but it's also like, people, you can't keep just like, woe is me, what's going on with the industry. Just please look more than just the tweet. So like you say, look who's getting laid off.
Right, and I want to dig into it. We understand that layoffs for anyone is rough, and like for a lot of people, it's really hard to find work right now, especially those types of industries.
Yeah.
But it's interesting to me still that even with an active, as we've been seeing, layoffs and horrible things that are happening, the industry in terms of employment is still bigger than like pre-pandemic, and even like it's still today probably bigger than it was probably in like 22 would be my guess, or 21. Like it's interesting kind of how much it's still grown, even though it feels very like everyone's being laid off right now.
I mean, it's just reverting back to the mean, right? It's
probably the mean's a little bit higher than it was, but it's still we overguessed at what that mean was.
I mean, everyone was just living, like fat pigs because the industry was doing so well sales wise that these companies were like, hey, we should probably hire more people. If our charts look like this, we need more people to support charts looking like this.
Mm-hmm.
And then the inevitable is charts stop looking like that. And you start looking at your expenditure chart and go, holy shit, we hired way too many people. And is it unfortunate that a lot of people lost their jobs? Yes. Then again, as you say, it's been a lot of community managers. It's been a lot of public facing people.
Mm-hmm.
Anything you hear from community managers, from journalists, from public personas, is that side of the industry is designed to chew you up and spit you out.
Also, let's be honest, and I'm going to say this is true. This is a broader truth too. Is like as a whole, journalism jobs and those type of jobs have shrunk over the last 40 years,
Yeah.
and that's partially. And what's interesting is because they're also the people who report on that type of stuff. It always seems like it becomes very interesting. Of like, I'm curious the true level of pop politic it is versus like because they're the ones who it's affecting, and they're also the mouthpieces. It's going to sound objectively worse because it's directly affecting them versus like indirectly affecting them. If that makes sense.
Yeah, they're way more likely to.
They're going to be sounding the alarm because they want to protect themselves. Because naturally, of course, you would. In the same way,
Yeah.
we would both protect ourselves. They're in the position but like they're the public voice, so it's like louder when they do it.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're more likely to draw attention to the layoffs and maybe cover the fact that the people getting laid off are community managers.
And to clarify, we're not saying it's good to be laid off and it's good, like, but there are like some realities that I think get ignored in this conversation. Like
Absolutely.
even stuff like industry being a tight margin and budgets bloated, and like it's not just like sure there are people, very rich people making a lot of money at top, but if you look at the actual businesses, it's not this like it's a cash cow like as a whole. And I feel like a lot of these companies are like scraping by comparatively to how most companies make money.
I mean, gone are the days of companies like Midway in the 90s where the executives were cashing massive checks. So were every other employee, but then again, every employee at Midway counted up to being
Right, and like
35.
you could find stories now of like an indie that made it, and like sure, and now they're all rich, and like those stories exist. But like otherwise, the average AAA, I bet you if we on a graph every year looked at every single AAA game, I bet you the majority of AAA games lose money.
At least at the start, yeah.
Yeah, like I mean like, and I just mean like of all AAA games. So like, so there's so
Yeah.
much like there's
Oh,
so
yeah.
much of like, and that's why you hear stuff of like a bunch of support studios going too. It's like because a lot of them are the ones who do this, and like as it gets budget gets higher, publishers are gonna go less. It's like the one who's jumping right now is EA is the other one today announced 5% reduction in force after last year's 6%, and their big thing is they're like we are not going to be externally licensing products anymore besides sports products because the licensing fees and it's just not economically worth it anymore.
Which is good news. I think a lot of people will.
I think though EA got better with at least some of the Star Wars licenses because the other thing is that came out from some journalists is it's the Mandalorian project got canceled at Respawn, which was something that looked very interesting.
But what I was going to say in regards to the how they're going to handle external licensing is a lot of people saw if EA licensed something, it was kind of the death knell for that product. Because they were like, okay, this thing's just going to be, sent off to some support studio. It's going to not be great. And then EA is going to have the license for 15 years because that's the deal that they cut. So I am happy to see that change. And granted, that change around Star Wars was Disney saying, hey, we're not going to be exclusive. Which is great because we've got that Ubisoft game that from the preview stuff looks pretty fucking awesome. And I mean, really, at least for me, the Mandalorian project getting canned, I don't care. I wasn't a huge fan after the first season of The Mandalorian.
Same. But I do think there was some of this game looked very interesting. Like I think at least this is what it leaked out. I'm like, and also it being Respawn, I think it's kind of, I'd be like, okay, we'll give him a shot.
Yeah.
That was part of it to me, was like it's Respawn.
My biggest problem with Star Wars stuff is like that IP is one of the few IPs where you'll sell so many games if it's just set in that universe.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like Lord of the Rings is probably the other one.
Mm-hmm.
Where you could make a game. I mean, look at Shadow of Mordor, right? Like those games did very well. They weren't, Frodo and Samwise and Gandalf, and they explored a different avenue with that license. The Star Wars Jedi games, they handle it completely differently, and it's like the only reference that they have to the movies is Darth Vader, and that's it. And because of that, it allows them to explore an IP that needs to be explored, or deserves to be explored, I should say. Not certainly needs to be. And I mean, I'm sure there's other franchises that people would love to explore the world of, and a story in that world that maybe doesn't involve its main characters. I mean, my dream would be like a Star Trek game where you're somehow not with the main Star Trek cast.
Yeah, like just in that world. Like you want because like
I want to be on another ship. Right? Like
it's just that universe. The issue is that universe. I think the universe probably of like the big expanded universe type stuff is probably the least fleshed out, and that's probably because they kind of be like, here's our main cast or crew, and just kind of follow them.
Yeah.
Because I think extended is also that world. There's little stuff of like there isn't like wars as the same. Like some of the modern ones kind of deal with that stuff, but it's very different than like the Star Wars type wars, or like there's always that stuff of like they don't have currency. There's all these like weird stuff that makes it harder to flesh something, I feel like, economically and like politically and stuff.
Yeah, there's definitely drawbacks to that, but I would love, like, if you could work your way up to captain,
like going through the academy, I think would be cool.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, no, that is something I think you could work on, and you could still, especially the academy being on Earth, you do some kind of fun like what does it look like now stuff as you like head to space before you head to space.
Yeah, and then you could have, a crew management aspect. Like, there's a lot of stuff that they could do.
But we had like that VR, like that Starship Crew game everyone loved, I thought, from was it from Ubisoft?
Yeah, Star Trek Bridge Crew.
Yeah.
But it's like whoever was the pilot was Kirk. Like, it was clearly set in Kirk, or I forget, there were a couple different eras that you could play in, but it was clearly like
obviously you were being one of them.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
So
let's jump into games coming out. We have a few more games on the list. We've been told a few things more, at least. Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection, which was announced at the Nintendo Switch showcase, will come out on March 14th. Are you gonna check that one out? I forgot if were you a Battlefront guy?
I'll check it out. I probably won't play a ton of it.
Yeah,
unless
I played it a bit,
dude. If Battlefront 2 is just a basically remaster of,
it's 32 versus 32, I think.
Which is what it was.
It's like it's bigger. No, it's 64 64. It's because now it's bigger. The battles are bigger now.
I was say 32 v 32 was original, so But yeah, if it's basically just like up-resed Battlefront 2, I'm all in. That game's so much fun.
That game is very good. So then coming after is Dragon's Dogma 2 comes out March 22nd. Prison Architect 2 comes out March 26th. Stellar Blade April 26th. Senna's Saga Hellblade 2, which will be our Microsoft first party game, comes out May 21st. Destiny 2 The Final Shape, followed by Destiny 2 Layoffs probably, comes out June 4th. And then Elden Ring Shadow of the Erd Tree comes out June 21.
And if my guess is correct, CFP 25 is somewhere in June.
Yep.
So
do you think I'm wrong? Do you not think Bungie will have more layoffs this year?
oh, dude, Bungie will lay off the entire Destiny 2 team.
I'll be very curious if it just becomes like you either go to Marathon or you're out kind of stuff. And they also have like that one more, the other game too. They have that game they're working on with, is it Tencent?
Yeah.
Before Sony bought them, they announced that one deal. But I feel like Destiny 2, I do feel like that team's about to get.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We will see. Finally, for the movie, I'm gonna say them. We know the answer already. Ghostbusters, Frozen Empire, Roadhouse, Kung Fu Panda 4, or what's the correct answer?
Roadhouse.
Dune. Dune.
Yeah, I know.
So
I mean, yes, because we did the watch along for Dune Part 1. We should do Dune Part 2. That being said, Roadhouse would be a fun one to do.
You did that's not a thing we did.
Dune 1? Yeah, it was. You and I watched it together.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that was one of those scener ones that we did. Yeah.
I don't remember this.
Yeah, that's how we watched it. Because it was on Max.
No, I know we did a few of those. I remember we doing it with
we did it with
Space
Justice
Jam.
League.
We did Mortal Kombat. Oh, Justice League was my entire Sunday or Saturday we did it.
Yeah, dude, I was hammered by the end of that too.
I think I remember that. That I remember.
I made
we did it.
I made a picture, and I made 2 pictures of mimosas, and I drank both of them while we were watching Justice League Snyder Cut. And we did Dune as well.
Why. Okay, I'm looking this up now because I am not joking with you. I do not remember this. I search.
But yeah, we're doing Dune Part 2. Are you seriously looking for it?
I'm telling you who made this up. I don't remember this, and I can't find proof of this. Okay. We're not ending this until I want to see. This is the moment of like, am I crazy or is he crazy? When did it officially come out? Was it 21 or 20?
We may not have done an episode on it.
Did we just watch it?
I think, yeah, we may have just watched it together. Well, here, I can pull up the masters. I've got the master files.
I'm gonna find this and I'm gonna. Okay, so I did that Suicide Squad in August of 21. Which that one was also a watch, I thought.
Yeah, it is, because you've got your video up.
Yep, Space Jam in July. F9.
That was not a watch along. Let's see.
No, I know. I'm going backwards on the movie clubs. I have Mortal Kombat, April. Oh yeah, because there was like no movies in there. So I forgot about that. Snyder Cut. We're at Snyder Cut right now in March of 21.
We did a Cody Banks one? I don't remember that.
No, Cody, you don't remember watching Cody Banks? That was like one of the early ones. That was a good time.
I'm going through the archives. That's why I brought that up.
No. We loved it. If you go back, we loved it.
Hellboy. It would have been after that. That was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I have Tenet in September of 20, and then we don't have a movie club for a while.
Movie Club 19 was April 14th of 2020. When was Dune released?
You said the April one?
October 22nd, 21.
Telling you, I think you made this up.
It may not have been a movie club, but I'm pretty sure we watched it together.
Maybe did. I just don't remember.
May of 20. Let's see.
Yeah, 'cause we go from the Suicide on our end, we go from that Suicide Squad to the Lost World Jurassic Park. I forgot we did that one.
Thor, Love and Thunder, Spider-Verse, Oppenheimer.
Did you ever watch a movie and just thought you watched it and realized, oh no, we watched this?
Well, I also forgot that I just used to do the episode numbers. So yeah. I'm trying to find stuff and it's not easy.
If you ask, I'm looking at it right now, kind of on the other end.
Yeah.
But we will end it there. But I don't know. We'll see. Maybe we probably watch together. But yes, Dune Part 2. Go check it out. Apparently, right now it's the highest rated movie ever on Rotten Tomatoes. So.
No.
What?
Super Hyped movie is now the highest rated movie on Rotten Tomatoes.
Hey, to be fair, it is a director that has he missed.
Debatable. In English stuff, it's a lot harder to debate, but
okay, in his like Hollywood stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't the biggest fan of Arrival, but
sure, but I think we could both understand that it's broadly respected. I think neither of us would argue with that.
Yeah.
You love Sicario?
It's my favorite movie of his.
Prisoners is really good.
What's that?
Prisoners is really good.
Yeah. If you go off of the IMDb star rating, his worst movie is Happiness Bound, I believe, at 4.9 stars.
Which is not even listed on his Wikipedia.
That was 2007.
Okay.
Pre-Dune 2, his highest rated English was Prisoners at 8.1. Blade Runner and Dune are both at 8.0. Arrival is a 7.9. Sicario is a 7.7.
Do you ever think we'll get a third Sicario? Oh, no, I'm sorry. Sicario Chaos Capos is in development.
I was going to say, I know they're working on it. But that was all I would have. I knew that they were working on it. I didn't know anything else about it.
Okay, that will do it for us here. We will see all of you soon. Next time. Come again.
Thank you. Come again.
Say goodbye. The SWW Show and all of its affiliate podcasts are podcast by me, Mike Maroney, and AJ Losi, sometimes by our contributors, including Corey King. You can follow the SWW Show on social media at the SWW Show, or sooner or later you go to patreon.com/SWW to help us out. Thank you. We hope you enjoy the rest of your day.